ক্লাস 10-এর যে লেসনটা আজকে পড়ানো হবে সেটা হচ্ছে লেসন 5 or Runaway Kite by Lucy Maud Montgomery. This particular text deals with the importance of relationship. And Lucy Maud Montgomery is a Canadian author, and she expresses very vividly how a long lost family becomes united again because of kite. So how the kite helps to bring together long lost family that has been expressed here, that has been put together here. The unit 1 will be done today. Of course, there was nobody for us to play with on the big half moon. We just had to make the most of each other, and we did. So in the big half moon island, there was nobody to play with. The narrator's father, and her brother used to live initially there, and they used to spend time. They used to enjoy themselves, everything. We live on the big half moon island. We, a father, Claude, I, Aunt Esther, and Mimi and Dick. So these 6 persons totally lived there. It used to be only father and Claude and I. Initially, father, Claude, and I means narrator used to live there. So initially, 3 persons lived there, but later on, because of the kite, there were 6 persons. Total 6 persons were there in the island. It is all on account of the kite. Because of the kite, there are more of us. So because of the kite, there are more people on the island. So this is the importance how the kite helps to bring together the family. Being together, family means the relations. This is what I want to tell you about. Father is the keeper of the big Harmon lighthouse. Father used to guard the lighthouse. Like, you know the meaning of the lighthouse. Perhaps if you have ever visited Vizag, there is a lighthouse. So lighthouse, actually the meaning is given over here. Lighthouse is a tower containing strong beam of light to guide and warn ships near the coast. So this light helps the ships to guide the ships. If come very close to the shore, then they might face problem. That's why it gives the direction to the ship. I'm 11 years old. The narrator was 11 years old. Claude is 12. Claude, her brother, Claude is senior to the narrator. In winter, when the harbor is frozen over, we all move over to the mainland. In winter, harbor is frozen over. I told that Lucy Montgomery is a Canadian author. That's why in Canada, actually, the winter is quite severe one. So in winter, the lake where the water is frozen, and the same thing happen here. In winter, the harbor becomes frozen. That's why they used to return back to the mainland. We all move over to the mainland. As soon as spring comes back, we sail to our own dear island. In spring means you can say summer also, because in those winter dominated countries, actually there is spring means summer, summer means spring, like that. So that's why when spring or summer comes back, we sail to our own dear island. When summer comes, then what happens? When spring comes, the ice sheet melts, and the narrator along with her brother and father, they return back to the island. The funny part used to be that people always pitied us when the time came for us to return. As people pitied us, because why did people pity on the narrator and narrator, her brother and father? Because they were quite lonesome. They were alone, because in those in that island there is nobody to stay with them. So they used to they spend time in a lonely, in an isolated manner. That's why it is people used to take pity on them. They said, we must be so lonesome over there. People said that we means the narrator, they were very lonesome. There were no one with them to play, to stay. They, as if they spend time in a very haunted manner, with no other children near us. There were no other children. So you know that childhood is such a stage where they love to stay together, they love to have fun together. But narrator had no one, only her brother, and father was quite busy with his job of guarding the lighthouse. Of course, Claude and I would have liked to have someone to play with us. Claude, they had the desire that there should be some more children to play with them. They always wanted to play, wanted more children to play with them. It is hard to run pirate caves. Pirate means that a kind of dacoits, but pirates, actually pirates, they do robbery on the sea. So the pirate, they used to play the game of pirate caves and things like that, and they used to play such thing, hide and seek game like that, with only two. But this game is not so much interesting because only two persons were there. But we used to quarrel a good deal with the mainland children in winter. In winter, they came back to the mainland. That time, they used to quarrel with the mainland children. So it was perhaps just as well that there were none of them on the big half moon. So this is the reason why they didn't they means those other children of the mainland, they did not get back to the they never went to the island, because in island there is nothing for sports, nothing for merrymaking. So that is quite deserted one, isolated one. That's why they never went back to the big half moon. Claude and I never quarreled. The narrator and her brother, they didn't quarrel ever. To be sure, father did not seem to have any relation except us. So the narrator was quite convinced that they were the only relatives of the father. Their family consisted of the narrator and her brother and father. So this is the family. So she had such a feeling that perhaps father had nobody in the family. No relation was there of the father in the family. This used to puzzle Claude and me. So Claude and the narrator was quite surprised. Puzzle means surprise, astonished. Why everybody in the mainland, there were so many relatives of them, why they don't have any relation? Everybody on the mainland had relations, why had not we? So this is the question that came up in the mind of the narrator. Was it because we lived on an island, so we don't have any relation? Because we live in the island, so that is the reason. Since we live in the island, that's why we don't have a relation. So this is the reason. This question was asked by the narrator. This question was asked by the narrator to herself. We thought it would be so jolly to have an uncle, an aunt, and some cousin. It would be quite good one if they had an uncle, aunt, and some cousins. Then the family could have been bigger, and they could have spent time together. They could have enjoyed in a very jolly fashion. That's why. Once we asked father about it, asked father why we do not have any relation. But he looked so sorrowful. But father was as if he was crying. He was shedding tears. He looked quite sorrowful, as if teardrops are coming down from the rolling down from the eyes. That we wished we had not. Then the narrator felt that perhaps she should not have asked this question to father, because father looked sorrowful as father was asked this question why they did not have any relation. He said it was all his fault. Claude and I did not understand what he meant. Father said that he is the reason, he is the culprit, that's why they didn't have any relation. But Claude and I means the narrator, they didn't understand what father meant to say. This is the first unit. এখানের মধ্যে ফার্স্ট ইউনিটটা কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেল। ফার্স্ট ইউনিটটা তোমরা পড়ো, পড়ার পর কিছু প্রবলেম থাকলে আমাকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ জিজ্ঞাসা করতে পারো, ঠিক আছে? ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।